newly minted belt holder at 126 pounds, taking on Vargas, who was a strap holder at 122 pounds. Now looking to hand Magsayo his first loss in this battle of undefeated fighters.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the featured attraction of the evening, the Featherweight Championship of the World. And now please welcome the boxers as they make their way to the ring. First, from Mexico, the undefeated challenger and former WBC Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, Vargas.
Mexican native Vargas receiving good show of support from the Mexican-American fans in attendance here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. The 31-year-old came in at a career-high 125.5 pounds for this championship fight at featherweight, and it is going to be incumbent upon Magsayo to do something to make Vargas change his style because, guys, his MO always the same, controlling range with his jab and piling up points with his long-armed counters.
And he is 6-0 in World Championship fights. And he's got 122 pounds, 5 defenses, and they were all against excellent fighters. The combined record of his last 5 opponents, 106 wins, 12 losses.
We talk about his legendary trainer, Nacho Badestan. The first time they worked together was February 2017 when Vargas went across the pond to defeat Gavin McDonald, who was undefeated at the time for the vacant 122-pound title. Al, you mentioned it, made 5 successful title defenses before he broke his leg while training, which ultimately forced him to vacate the title. He is coming off a near-shutout victory of Leonardo Baez in his featherweight debut on the Canelo Alvarez-Caleb Plant undercard last November.
And now making his way to the ring from the Philippines, here is the undefeated WBC Featherweight Champion of the World, Mark Magnifico Magsayo.
Journey comes full circle. Mark Magsayo was selling ice cream on the beach in his native Philippines, trying to help his family when he was 8 years old. They were subsisting on less than $5 a day. At 8 years old, there was a new conference center built in his area. They went to watch a boxing match featuring Filipino icon Manny Pacquiao, who stopped Marco Antonio Barrera in November 2003 at this venue. Magsayo literally walking in the footsteps of his hero and looking to show that, yeah, he may be the new face of Filipino boxing. He wants to prove that his win over Gary Russell Jr. wasn't, as some people think, a fluke.
Listen, it's everything that excites me about Magsayo. His energy, his confidence, the power, and his humbleness. You know, he's a really humble fighter. And obviously, now I see the comparisons that they make, you know, with Manny Pacquiao and him. But tonight, he is definitely have to make adjustments, you know, in order to get that win. He's going to have to cut off the ring. He's got to get in the inside of the long reach of Vargas. Really good fight for him. And guess what? Whatever people think about his last fight, it doesn't matter. He is a world champion right now. He's the one holding the title.
Pacquiao defeated a much bigger Antonio Margarito. And speaking of that fight, Pacquiao told Magsayo that the key to beating Vargas is going to be his footwork and his head movement. Freddie Roach, who is working his 5th fight with Magsayo, feels that it's going to come down to Magsayo putting together his combination tonight. Big edge in the reach, and it's up to Magsayo to do something about it.
And the rules for the main event championship fight: only the referee can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell, and the fight becomes official after 4 completed rounds. From the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, we are set for tonight's main event for the featherweight championship. Currently around the waist of Mark Magsayo, a battle of undefeated fighters. With more, here is the classic Jimmy Lennon Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Alamo Dome here in San Antonio, Texas, for the featured bout of the evening. Premier Boxing Champions presents, and it's all brought to you by TGB Promotions and Showtime, sponsored by DraftKings. Our main event is sanctioned by the WBC, President Mauricio Suleiman, Supervisor Tito Gonzalez, along with the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations. The Executive Director is Mike Aris Mendez. Introducing our 3 judges, scoring from ringside, from Nevada, Tim Cheatham, from Texas, Jesse Reyes, and from Oklahoma, David Sutherland. Presenting a referee in charge, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, John Shorley. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from beautiful San Antonio, Texas, it's showtime! Introducing to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing red, white, and green trunks, hailing from Otumba, Estado de Mexico, Mexico. He weighed in at 125.5 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with a record of 35 wins, no losses, 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight in his 7th world title appearance and ranked the #1 featherweight contender. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome tonight's challenger and the former WBC Super Bantamweight Champion of the world, introducing the undefeated Vargas. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with red trim, fighting out of Los Angeles by way of Tagbilaran City, born in the Philippines. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 125.5 pounds. He also is undefeated with a record of 24 wins, no losses, and 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight he is making the first defense of his title. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the undefeated, reigning and defending WBC Featherweight Champion of the World, introducing Mark Magnifico Magsayo. Once again, the referee in charge, John Shorley, now to give instructions.
Okay, these are good here, these are good here. Okay, guys, this is the WBC title. Give me a good, clean fight. Obey my commands and protect yourselves at all times. Good luck.
Referee John Shorley, 30 years of pro experience, working his 580th professional bout. The champion Mark Magsayo out to prove there's no one who can stop him at 126 pounds. He says that beating the longest reigning title holder in the sport at the time, Gary Russell Jr., doubled his confidence overnight. Meanwhile, Ray Vargas, he feels he's not overconfident, but he knows how hard he's worked, and he's ready to become a 2-division champion. Somebody's has to go. Round 1, now.
Vargas has been so dominant in
in his last 7 fights, and they've all gone a distance. He has only lost or has won every card by every judge in those fights except for one that was a draw.
He's not able to lose right hand from Magsayo.
And he comes back with a combination of his own.
This is a really exciting fight. I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's always exciting. Mexico, when Mexico meets Puerto Rico, Philippines, especially with two legends as in the corner that they have, Nacho Beristain and Freddie Roach.
Both men are throwing big right hands.
They came in throwing gloves, yeah.
And Magsayo's hero Pacquiao has appeared in no less than 9 of those Mexican versus Philippines matchups. And in fact, speaking of those opponents, among the legendary Mexican 122-pound champs who went on to win titles at 126, they include Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera, who were involved in one of the most memorable trilogies in the sport. And what we know about Barrera's history against Pacquiao in this building.
That's for sure. Boy, they are both loading up on these right hands. And Magsayo landed a couple that were pretty good, and Vargas as well.
Yeah, first round, so far, no feel-out punches. These are all hard punches, power punches that they're both throwing.
1-2 for the champion Magsayo.
And Vargas is kind of doing what he promised. He said, I'm going to stay right there. I'm going to trade with Magsayo. Hey, he's doing it at his distance.
Final minute of the first. Shot at the bell line there to Vargas. Ray is Spanish for king, was a belt holder 122, looking to prove that he can be the man here at 126 pounds as well. Other belt holders at this weight class, believe it or not, the veteran Leo Santa Cruz. You'll be watching this fight with vested interest. Josh Warrington and Emmanuel Navarrete, the other belt holders at 126 pounds. 30 seconds left in the opening frame.
Yeah, early on, Vargas walked into a right hand that Magsayo threw. Magsayo doing a good job of following it up with, once he throws the 1-2, he follows up with the jab. And he catches Vargas going back.
Both Vargas and Magsayo making their bad intentions known here in the first frame as they threw a lot of power shots.
Take a look at the keys to victory for these two men. For Magsayo, now he needs to double the jab to get his way inside, which is where he wants to be. Sometimes he squares himself up, which makes himself an easier target. Didn't do that in round number 1. His left hook is a potent weapon. He took Julio Ceja out with that punch. He was trying to get it set up in round 1. As for Vargas, he'll need the jab to establish proper distance. He threw some in round 1, not that many. Now, he should throw wide left hooks because of the counter. However, I think he does need to throw the left hook. Magsayo has been cut down twice by that punch. So in the first round, though, almost no left hooks thrown by either man.
Bell and round number 2. And I gotta say, guys, Vargas has been down 3 times in 3 different fights, each time in the second round. The late great Smoking Joe Frazier, he could relate. Second round was his jinx round against the likes of George Foreman and Oscar Bonavena.
Yeah, that's true.
And it almost seems that any of these fighters is going down is going to be with the hook. They're both hooking at the same time.
Yeah.
They're hooking with hummers. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and they were right-hand happy in the first round. And now they heard my keys to victory. They said, we're supposed to use that left hook.
Well, and speaking of left hooks, Joe Frazier.
Yeah, he had a pretty good one.
Man, these two are just sitting down, and like you said, Abner and Al as well. Vargas said, I'm going to sit down on my punches more. I'm going to prove that I can go toe-to-toe with a guy like Magsayo. And, well, he's willing to put that to the test here in the early going.
And both men are landing in this round. They've landed each 50% of the punches they've thrown in this round, according to show stats. They are throwing and landing.
Yeah, they're both power punchers. You know, Vargas having 22 knockouts, Magsayo 16. And they both really sit on the punches when they want to. There it is from Magsayo. He barely missed with that left hook.
Yeah, Vargas has not scored a knockout since he halted faded former champion Alexander Munoz back in September 2016.
Yeah, he's not known for getting knockouts when he's at the high echelon, but he is an aggressive puncher.
Yeah. In most of those fights, he chose to box. He chose to use the whole ring, the reach that he has. But right now, we're seeing a different type of move.
Oh, wow, nice punch there from Magsayo. And you know what? I said it would be incumbent upon Magsayo to do something to make Vargas change his style. And whether Vargas has done it voluntarily or not, it's happening.
And to add about the keys for victory that Al said, you don't want to hook if you're Vargas, and that's what he's doing. I'm sorry. Yeah, you want to hook if you're Magsayo. He's a stronger man.
By Vargas.
Gracias. Thank you.
Nice body shot. Right hand by Magsayo, and he would like to go to the body, of course, against the taller Vargas.
Magsayo is normally throws many jabs. He is not throwing a lot, neither is Vargas. Magsayo's only thrown 35 jabs so far, Vargas 43, but Magsayo usually uses that punch a lot.
And usually both of them throw way above the featherweight average for total punches, not so far in this fight. 15 seconds left in the second, a spirited start to this featherweight title fight between undefeated belt holder Mark Magsayo and undefeated former 122-pound champion Ray Vargas. Oh, nice right hand lands at the end of round 2 for Magsayo.
The start of the new era in Canadian professional golf kicks off this season with the inaugural Fortinet Cup on PGA Tour Canada. The race for the Fortinet Cup spans from coast to coast as the top up-and-coming golfers in the world compete for the coveted trophy. For more information, please visit pgatour.com/Fortinet Cup.
Allergy symptoms hit fast. Suddenly your face is stuffy, itchy, and runny, all at the same time.
Good thing you have triple benefit reactant liquid gels. They provide fast, effective relief of allergy symptoms and last 24 hours. When allergies hit fast, reactant acts fast.
This program may contain coarse language, mature subject matter, violence, and scenes that could be disturbing to some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Maybe she's responsible for some of that work on Magsayo's body.
I'm going to say yes to that.
Especially the female
Especially her face on the chest.
All right, third round here. As, Vargas survived the second round, had a good second round, didn't go down. Again, that round 2 was the rounds in his career that brought him to the canvas. But, man, they are throwing like they want to knock each other down, that's for sure. And for Magsayo, he has never, has been knocked out twice against Julio Ceja, that incredible come from behind winner, which really put him on the stage because that was the night that Manny Pacquiao forced to retire against Yordenis Ugas.
Yeah, very exciting fight, and he was way behind and he came back. This fight is intriguing, and it's intriguing largely because Ray Vargas has decided to stay there and battle Magsayo.
We talked about the jab not being used from either side. I think either Vargas or Magsayo has to start throwing that jab.
I agree.
Magsayo to get in and Vargas to keep that distance and set up with right hand.
And here you look at the power punches in the last round. How about that? Magsayo landing at 50%. Vargas, 69%. And that's everything other than the jab. So they were loading up in that round.
Talked about Vargas and Magsayo and facing adversity. Magsayo, of course, coming from behind to stop Ceja. Well, he was dropped by Chris Avalos, also ended up stopping him. So has faced adversity, has overcome it. And yeah, he's heard all of the stories about Gary Russell Jr. being a one-arm fighter after the 4th round, where Gary Russell didn't throw a jab after exacerbating the injury to his right shoulder. But when you look at the stats, and at the end of the day, Mark Magsayo did what was necessary to become a belt holder at 126 pounds. You talk about his confidence. He says it doubled overnight, but that confidence being put to the test here by a guy who has yet to taste defeat as well in Ray Vargas.
Yeah, Vargas is using that reach, that distance really well in this round. He's not boxing, using the entire ring. He's standing at a great range where he's landing that check hook and throwing that right hand over on top.
Those men have feinted a lot, and there is Vargas doing it. Magsayo's done it as well.
There's that jab.
Yeah, but you made a very good point, Abner. The first man that starts to really establish that's going to have an edge in this fight.
Left hook by Vargas. That jab has been a little absent for Vargas. He's again leading with left hooks, leading with power shots.
And he has a good left hook. He's not a giant power puncher, but he's got a good hook. He's got to be careful how he throws it. Good run for Vargas.
All right, from the boxing ring to the...
We've got your back, Road Warriors. Because we know you're picking up the pace. Steering life at 10 and 2. You're hitting the road. And we're helping you get there with confidence. So skip the counter without missing a beat. Choose any car in the aisle. And be the boss of you. Go national. Go like a pro.
It's the kind of magic.
This program may contain coarse language, mature subject matter, violence, and scenes that could be disturbing to some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Fourth round underway. Magsayo trying to put the pressure on Vargas.
Yeah, Vargas not giving up with that hook. He's throwing it, and he's missed many times. He's caught the gloves, but it's just a matter of time.
And how about this? I don't think we've had one clinch in this fight. Barely. Maybe one or two, but not many.
Great body shot from Vargas. Yeah, really clean fight so far.
And they're fighting at the range to land punches.
Those punches bouncing off the high guard of Magsayo goes downstairs, then fires a left hook upstairs.
I like when he gets in that rhythm, Magsayo. He gets in the little bouncy rhythm. He lets go of the punches a little bit more volume. And that's what you want to do, because you're going to miss the first two shots against a taller fighter, Vargas.
One of the toughest fights that Magsayo's had was against Roberto Garcia, a tall fighter at 5'9", and it's a split decision victory, so the height can bother him from time to time.
That was nice from Vargas. Nice three-piece.
No soda, though, after all. Last match. Minute 35 seconds left here in the fourth. High-level fight between these two undefeated world-class warriors. Magsayo launching a lead left hook. And so does Vargas, both miss.
Magsayo has good sparring against Juan Carlos Burgos, who's a big, tall, rangy fighter like Vargas. That was a good man for him to spar with.
Yeah, that's a great fighter, Vargas. I remember him. Yeah, great sparring partner, but right now,
yeah, it's not helping him right now.
So much.
Because Vargas is controlling the distance here, and this round especially.
Pick 'em fight, according to the odds makers. A nice left hand by Magsayo to the side of Vargas' head. And there's a stiff jab from Vargas, and now Vargas tagging Magsayo 3 times in a row to the face with the jab.
He's getting that throw, that jab now, Vargas. That was a really good hook from Magsayo. He timed it really well.
That's what he wants. He thinks that's probably his ticket to hurting Vargas if he can. Vargas having a really good round, though.
Vargas having a good round and hoping to make it a great night, looking to become a 2-division champion, and it is as well a family affair for the Vargas clan. Ray Vargas has his sister Alejandra in his corner, his father Carlos to repeat it. Repeat it a couple of times. Come on. Okay. You feel strong? You feel strong? He's starting to see that power that you have. You only have one punch away from winning this fight. Water, let me get a little water. Keep working with that left and then with the right. The 1-2. No water upstairs.
Well, there was one moment that Mark Magsayo lugged in that round, and that was this hook that landed a counter left hook. But the majority of the round, it was being controlled range by Vargas, using the jab and also the straight right hand. So they liked what Vargas did in his corner.
The show stats bear that out as we begin round number 5. Magsayo going to the body, and there's a short right uppercut to the body by Vargas. Chopping right hand, and Magsayo trying to lunge his way inside, get past the physical disadvantages.
We saw the shot of his...
Well, referee shortly calls it a trip. He was hit with the left hand upstairs, but...
That was a little push also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you got to get Vargas. Every punch that he's throwing is with bad intentions. Even that check hook, it had some power. He's really sitting down on his punches.
Triple jab by Magsayo. Coming into the fight, he was known for throwing 33% of his punches as jabs, landing about 5 per round.
Even though after that jab, you hook, I want to see the right hand coming right behind that hook. There's that right hand, but you want to hook first.
Body shots by Vargas and then stumbles coming forward.
It's really amazing to see a fight tempo guy in this weight class.
Exactly. Magsayo could well be the hardest hitter that Vargas has faced. He's up the highest weight, he's got pop, and yet Vargas has taken his power punches so far. And there's a total punches, and you see Vargas with the edge, both in terms of what he's thrown and what he's landed thus far, according to show stats.
You mentioned the fight against Rigoberto Hermosillo from Magsayo, one of his toughest fights to date because of those physical traits of Hermosillo, and well, Ray Vargas proving to be as tough as they come from Magsayo here tonight. Final minute of the 5th.
Again, we still have not seen the double jab from Magsayo. He's lunging in, he's throwing, he's got to be careful also.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Evan.
He's lunging in a lot. I mean, those are heavy shots, but you can also walk into something.
Well, Manny Pacquiao told Magsayo the key would be his footwork and head movement, and not a lot of that on display here tonight thus far against Vargas. In a successful fashion, Vargas again landing. There's a nice counter right that staggered Vargas. So sharp counter right hand lands from Magsayo. We are through 5 rounds.
When do we stop just playing? Times might have changed, but the best stories always start when we get outside and play. We don't have to be young to play. Playing keeps us young. It takes us on adventures, and it keeps us dreaming of that one perfect shot. Whatever your reason, come out and play.
Welcome to the Subway Eat Fresh, Refresh.
We got it!
Introducing the new Green Goddess sandwiches, topped with this delicious new Green Goddess dressing. Subway Eat Fresh, Refresh.
This program may contain coarse language, mature subject matter, violence, and scenes that could be disturbing to some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Than we thought at the time, but it knocked, and he followed up with another one, knocked Vargas off balance.
This is round number 6. 12-round championship fight for Mark Magsayo's 126-pound title. His maiden voyage as a belt holder, and the only
Magsayo early on. It's when he gets on that groove again. Little bounce. You want to jab again. There it is. Jab your way inside. You got the power. You already knocked up balance, Vargas. You can tell you hurt him when he lands a right hand. There's the left
hook and ran, countered by the right from Magsayo.
You know, Magsayo averages about 30 jabs a round. Tonight, he's only thrown 105 jabs in 5 rounds. So it speaks to what you said, Abner. He's not using that punch effectively.
Magsayo goes to the body with a right hand. Double jab, bouncing off the gloves of Magsayo. Vargas goes to the body with a left hook that lands, misses with the right uppercut. And now champs of Magsayo, so both fighters in this Mexico versus Philippines battle, hearing from their supporters. The energy level increasing here in our main event from the crowd, hoping to give that energy to their fan favorite in the ring.
Vargas is starting to land some hellacious left hooks to the body.
Yeah, and he's the one putting the pressure now.
Sharp jab from Vargas.
And it's exactly because of that. The body shots that hurt Magsayo. He saw his body language, his eyes was backing up a bit. Yeah. And Vargas pressed.
Yeah, you're right. And he just blasted him downstairs again.
Left hook by Vargas upstairs. And Magsayo, sorry, Alex, just thrown 31 punches, landed only 6 thus far here in the 6th.
Yeah, that's not what he wants. You know, we've mentioned that it's been 6 years since Vargas scored a stoppage. He's fighting like he wants to try to get one tonight.
Dan, can we talk about the long layoff he's had, Vargas? And, you know, he's looking good.
Yeah, I came back after a long layoff against Bias, and now he's looking sharp. Magsayo looks tired.
And Ray Vargas past Magsayo on the rope. Magsayo firing off a couple rights, backed up to the ropes again. So the challenger making it double tough for the champion Magsayo.
The start of the new era in Canadian professional golf kicks off this season with the inaugural Fortinet Cup on PGA Tour Canada. The race for the Fortinet Cup spans from coast to coast as the top up-and-coming golfers in the world compete for the coveted trophy. For more information, please visit PGAtour.com/Fortinet Cup.
This program may contain coarse language, mature subject matter, violence, and scenes that could be disturbing to some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Meanwhile, Omar Figueroa Jr. will fight Adrian Broner August 20th on Showtime. We told you it was a Figueroa family affair. And he was very proud of his younger brother, Brandon, who picks up a win in his official 126-pound debut. And here in round 7, beginning the second half of this championship affair, catapult-like right hand from Magsayo.
You know, we mentioned earlier that Magsayo might very well be the hardest hitter Vargas has faced thus far. And yet, there's blood around the left eye of Vargas. But Vargas has taken the power shots that Magsayo has hit him with very well.
And the chronic issue for Vargas throughout his career, cuts around the eyes. There's a nice left hook that landed upstairs for Vargas.
Yeah, not only that, Al, as you know, he's taking hard punches, power punches, but Vargas has been the one that's thrown more power punches in this fight. He's sitting down on his punches. He's not boxing as much. He's standing right there. And the last round, he was pushing Magsayo back.
Let's bring in our unofficial score, Steve Ford. How do you have it at the halfway point?
Well, I have Vargas ahead with all the momentum right now. I've given him the last 4 rounds. I have him ahead 58-56. If this fight goes a distance, to me, rounds 1 and 2 were both swing rounds. I gave them both to Magsayo. So if you gave either of those rounds or both those rounds to Vargas, it's conceivable Vargas is way ahead at this point. on more than 2 points I have in my head, but so Vargas 58-56 with all the momentum right now.
We don't know if that cut came from a punch or clash of heads. 4 times before, as you point out, Mara, there was a cut that came from clashes of heads that Vargas suffered.
There's a right-left combination that landed from Magsayo upstairs. The jab through the guard from Vargas.
Yeah, there it is again. He lands that right hand, stepping in, but guess what? You got to cut the ring. You got to keep pushing forward.
Final minute of the 7th. There's a lead right hand across the jawline of Magsayo, and Magsayo finding it difficult to close the distance.
More movement from Vargas this round.
Yeah, and that's what we want to see from Magsayo. We want to see more movement, shifting side to side, making angles.
Incredible, Abner, and Al, that Vargas throwing twice as many punches at Magsayo in this round, and, well, doubling them up in terms of connections as well.
Yeah, like Steve said, he's got the momentum right now. He's got the feel. He's feeling his punches well.
Another strong round for the challenger, the undefeated Ray Vargas.
He's loved the Big Mac for as long as he can remember, since this very moment, actually. Do you remember your first bite feeling? Well, the feeling is back, but bigger. The grand Big Mac. More beef, more sauce, more to love.
There is more to this tournament than the exclusive decor, the unique colours, or the singular beat. More than the epic matches that have made history. What is truly special about Wimbledon is that it's not so much about who wins in the end, as it's about who they are measuring themselves against.
This program may contain coarse language, mature subject matter, violence, and scenes that could be disturbing to some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Clash of heads there, and again, that's the 5th time in his career there's been a clash of heads and a cut.
And Jim Gray reporting that referee John Shorley wasn't sure if it was from a punch or a clash of heads, but we just saw the replay. Of course, we have the benefit of seeing the replay. So, round number 8, and Mark Magsayo, in his first title defense, is in tough against the equally undefeated challenger Ray Vargas. Both of them yet to taste defeat. 30 seconds gone here in the 8th.
Both men, of course, undefeated, so they passed the 8 rounds. They are past 7 rounds. They are all both undefeated. They've both been 12 rounds before.
It's time to step it up for Magsayo. He's getting a little desperate, so he's got to be careful also he doesn't make a mistake coming in.
And now Magsayo again, almost, I guess, hearing you after trying to put together a charge, but easier said than done against Ray Vargas.
Yeah, but he's not doing it right. I mean, he's putting pressure. He's trying to land a big shot while throwing himself like that, but he's got to be careful again. He's not setting it up with the jab.
Yeah, the lack of the jab, the headline story in this fight for Magsayo.
No head movement also. I want to see that from him.
And that was one of the instructions from Manny Pacquiao, was saying that it would come down to footwork and head movement. Both lacking in this fight. Meanwhile, Vargas throwing combinations. Round after round, it's Vargas out-shocking Magsayo, but Magsayo with a nice right hook. And that caught the attention of Ray Vargas.
That was a good straight round in, and I'll tell you what, Magsayo was landing some good power punches. Vargas coming up for 122 pounds. He's taking those punches.
But you get to see that it didn't bother him.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt him.
Yeah, he felt that.
There's a left hook by Vargas.
There was again another hook from Magsayo.
Well, and let's remember, he has power late in the fight. He came back against Seha and knocked him out.
Yeah, and he's only landed or been credited with only 7 punches in this round compared to 14 for Vargas. So maybe the more eye-catching shots from Magsayo, but Vargas continues to bring the fight to the 126-pound champion. Vargas going against Cut, but he said he would do it. There's a sweeping left by Magsayo upstairs.
Wow, are you seeing this? What a DQ matchup. Drumstick with Peanuts Blizzard and new caramel drumstick with Peanuts Blizzard. Who's gonna win?
You know the score?
You, obviously.
No idea.
DQ, happy tastes good.
Families are working hard to make the world a better place for everyone. Walking instead of driving. Using less water, planting more trees. And making everyday decisions that help our planet and those who inherit it. Maple Leaf wants to help. We're the world's first major carbon neutral food company. We've invested in things like local wind farms and emissions reduction across Canada. That means you can enjoy delicious, sustainable food made with real and simple ingredients. Because wanting to fight climate change is only natural.
This program may contain coarse language, mature subject matter, violence, and scenes that could be disturbing to some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Vargas was able to weather it even though he felt it.
This is round number 9. Battle of undefeated fighters with Mark Magsayo's 126-pound strap up for grabs.
Vargas is 7-0 in 12-round fights. Magsayo is 4-0, so they have lots of experience going that length. The question for Magsayo is, has he dug himself a hole here? You don't know how the judges are seeing it.
Saw a little bit more head movement from Magsayo in the last round. Let's see if he continues with that. He is pressing a little bit more.
Jab from Vargas. That jab was parried by Magsayo. Vargas trying to disrupt Magsayo with the jab. Goes to the body with the right, and now Vargas getting busier with the jab. Here in round 9 in the opening minute. That right hand by Magsayo lands upstairs.
Again, you want to follow it up with the hook.
He's still throwing those big punches, and he did land a couple in the last round. And a reminder against Seha, he was way behind, and he came back with that knockout. He'd like to do that. We don't know if he's behind in this fight, but he may well be.
3-punch combination culminating with a left hook curl behind the guard of Magsayo. According to our unofficial score, Steve Farhood, he has the challenger up by 4.
Oh, that was a nice right by Vargas.
Yeah, and Magsayo tried to counter that right, but I mean, you're way out of distance. Oh, nice right hand. I mean, overhand left.
Sharp jabs exchanged by both fighters. Rare occasion where each of them throws a jab at the same time. Final minute of the 9th.
And you know, after us talked a lot about it, we've talked about the lack of jabs from Magsayo. The fact that Vargas has almost doubled the amount of jabs that he's thrown is a big story in this fight. Because actually Magsayo throws more jabs.
Vargas going down. Vargas goes down in the 4th time in his career. Here in the 9th, less than 30 seconds left. Here comes Magsayo. So Magsayo, you mentioned the fight against Julio Seha. Well, he's hoping to deliver some trophy here in San Antonio. Magsayo all over Vargas, but Vargas counters with a right. Is the tide turning here? That was Rulman's foot as we head to round 10.
Sometimes you gotta refresh to be fresh.
A little bit more of a smile.
Okay, perfect.
Welcome to the Subway Eat Fresh, Refresh.
And raise the cup. The one on the table.
Subway is refreshing their menu with these new Green Goddess sandwiches, topped with this delicious new Green Goddess dressing.
Yummy, yummy.
Yeah. What? Did Did you know that Subway sources a variety of Canadian veggies harvested in season? Subway, eat fresh, refresh.
Canada Drives is the easiest way to sell or trade a car. Simply enter a few details online and get a guaranteed offer. We'll pick up your car, you'll get paid. No hassle, no haggling. It's the smarter, safer way to sell or trade a car. It's Canada Drives.
This program may contain coarse language, mature subject matter, violence, and scenes that could be disturbing to some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Vargas to avoid inside fighting with Mark Magsayo, especially after what transpired in the night. That right hand dropping Vargas for the fourth time in his career.
And we talked about the power that Magsayo has. He can do it any given round.
Right uppercut left. Wow. Beautiful combo from Vargas.
Yeah, but Vargas tried that uppercut from back. He's got to be careful of that, but he did land the left hand.
Landed both. Unofficial scores tightening up on Steve Furrell's scorecard.
And Steve made such a salient point. Those first two rounds were very close rounds. The question is, how do the judges have those?
Now give Magsayo one time the right hand that Vargas throws from far.
Yes.
And walk in with it. There it is. With time with right where Vargas throws it. Throw it at the same time. There it is.
Both of them did. Vargas went downstairs to the body with the right. Magsayo had the better punch upstairs to the face.
Vargas is playing with fire, throwing that. It was again an uppercut.
And he did it again. He gets hit. He doesn't look steady.
Yes.
And he's down.
That was a knockdown.
That's true. It's not ruled a knockdown, but Vargas' body language.
And I didn't see anyone waking him up in the corner.
Neighbors going to the 10th. And yeah, Vargas trying to throw from long distance, Alan, not. While the battle continues in the ring, the battle's in the crowd as well in terms of the contingent cheering on the Mexican Vargas and the contingent cheering on the Filipino Magsayo.
Magsayo's losing a big opportunity right here where Vargas.
We are heading into the championship round. Magsayo, will this come back to bite him? After knocking Vargas down, not putting the pressure on here in the 10th, we're going to the championship rounds.
Finally, a bedroom you can relax in. Not a care in the world. Unlike your old bedroom. Because everything changed at Home Hardware's paint renovation sale. Save 25% on Beauty Tone Windshield Best Stain. And save 25% on Beauty Tone Designer Interior Paint. Plus, save 25% on Beauty Tone Enamel Spray Paint. Available now at Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
To help start our big days, we fill up with mini wheats. Whether it's prepping for Grandma's birthday or the first game of the playoffs, mini wheats fills us up.
Made with 100% whole grain and very high in fiber. It's big food for big days.
This program may contain coarse language, mature subject matter, violence, and scenes that could be disturbing to some viewers. Discretion is advised.
So, let's stick to it.
Championship rounds begin. Round number 11. Undefeated 126-pound champion Mark Magsayo defending the title for the first time against former 122-pound belt holder, the unbeaten Ray Vargas.
If I'm Vargas, I want to get on that bicycle now. You got 2 rounds left, and we don't know how the judges are seeing this one.
Remember what Magsayo said, that if he doesn't win, it's going to be a knockout.
He did say that.
Well, he might need the knockout here. Unofficially, Vargas now on by 1, so Magsayo is definitely closing in on the unofficial scorecard belonging to Steve Farwell.
You can make a strong case of Magsayo won that last round. And we know the one before it was a 10-8 round, so we just don't know about those first couple rounds.
Oh, there's a body shot by Vargas. Magsayo going upstairs. Well, we've seen in the past with Magsayo, conditioning, stamina in the later rounds has been an issue. Doesn't appear to be the case here tonight for neither fighter.
Right, and when he's still attacking, but the volume of Magsayo could be better for sure. But yes, but he's still in the fight because he's throwing and landing some power punches.
There's the jab. He threw one jab, Magsayo. See if he keeps doing that.
They're gonna just be upset that he hasn't thrown that much more in this fight.
Oh, nice left hand lands for Vargas.
Vargas cannot resist throwing that uppercut from far out, and it didn't cost him there. He landed the left
Combination from Magsayo. Final minute of the 11th.
And this is a close round.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, and there Vargas unlocks on Magsayo, trapped in the corner momentarily. Magsayo trying to do a Euro step there, right? Smart.
No, that's what we talked about. I talked about the shifting side to side and get in, and that's exactly what Magsayo did right there.
30 seconds left in round 11. The crowd becoming more boisterous. The action picking up here. 20 seconds left in the 11th.
Pivotal round.
The final 3 minutes. Who will walk out the Alamo Dome as a 126-pound belt holder? Will somebody so go? Round 12 next.
Early in the round, Vargas landed again the uppercut, and he almost got counted with the right again, but instead he lands a big left hook. And then he got Magsayo in the corner, and he got some work done as he spun him around.
This is the last round. This is the last round. Don't let him. Don't be close. All right? Maintain the distance, okay? And you're winning. You're winning.
Many of the fans in attendance on their feet in anticipation of this 12th and final round for the 126-pound strap belonging to Mark Magsayo. With 40 seconds left in round 9, the challenger Vargas went down from the straight right to the chin. Neither fighter is reported a knockdown in the championship rounds. Both of them looking to close the show here.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting round because we know that Magsayo is going to move forward. He's going to try to look for the knockout, but he doesn't, not smart. He lunges his way in. And guess what? Vargas might get with the, inside punches.
On our unofficial scorecard, Magsayo needs the knockout. Looking for him here.
Vargas landing some nice counter punches as Magsayo came in. But Magsayo's been able to take the best power punches Vargas is offering. And again, Vargas hasn't scored a knockout in 6 years, so he's not a power puncher.
A minute gone here in the final round. It was a 50-50 fight. Heading into this championship affair has been hot and heavy. Both have had their moments, but Ray Vargas delivering on his promise to sit down on his punches.
He's made it an entertaining fight for us by engaging. Now, the big question is, can he resist Vargas the temptation to throw that uppercut?
There it is. He threw it again.
He can't help himself.
Mark Magsayo's hero, the reason he started boxing. Manny Pacquiao stopped Marco Antonio Barrera
round. He needed to be more active, double the amounts controlled by Vargas.
Yes, he did need to be more active in this round. He's trying to, and he's going to try in the last 30 seconds, so I hope so.
Could be traditional bombs.
Yeah, and it's still a close round, I think.
Final 30 seconds. The defending champ recording the one knockdown of the fight. But the challenger hoping that he has done enough to become a two-division champion. Filipino Mark Magsayo, Mexican Ray Vargas, doing battle until the final bell. Another terrific scrap at 126 pounds.
This thing right there.
The reactions may tell the story. Jubilation from the Vargas family, concern on the face of Mark Magsayo's wife, Francis.
Yeah, that definitely speaks volumes, right? You know when you want to fight, you know when you did what was necessary to get a decision, and I think Vargas team is aware of that, and they feel they look like they won this fight.
And of course, we will see.
Of course.
We've been surprised.
Yes.
Yeah, once or twice.
Well, Vargas receiving a nice round of applause, and Mark Magsayo hoping to hear the same, and he will hear it from his supporters again. Another chapter in the rivalry between Mexico and Philippines in the boxing ring.
These numbers will be very interesting and perhaps instructive as well. Many more punches thrown by Vargas, certainly a significant number more landed. Remember, it's 5 rounds, so it's how you landed them. Remember, there was a 10-8 round on behalf of Magsayo, but the power punches, both men landing at a very high percentage, 40% for Vargas, 37% for Magsayo, but Vargas threw so many more. So we'll see how that works. And a key one, many more body punches landed by Vargas against Magsayo. That's surprising.
All right, Jimmy Lennon Jr. standing by with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards with a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Tim Cheatham scores about 115 to 112 in favor of Ray Vargas. Judge at ringside, Jesse Reyes scores about 114 to 113 in favor of Mark Magsayo. And judge at ringside, David Sutherland sees the action, 115 to 112 in favor of the winner and the new WBC champion of the world,
Ray Vargas is the new 126-pound champion. Ray is Spanish for king. He now has a claim to the throne, and his second weight class remains undefeated and, well, delivered on his promise to make this a fight.
There are two things that will haunt Magsayo forever. Not letting his jab go in this fight, and perhaps not finishing Ray Vargas when he was hurt. Great fight. Great win for Ray Vargas. I mean, he put on a good fight.
A trial by fire for him. He was knocked down late, survived the power of what was certainly the hardest puncher he's faced thus far in his career.
And just like that, the Philippines are without a champion. It will not be the storybook ending that Mark Magsayo was hoping for here in the arena where his hero Manny Pacquiao emerged as a superstar nearly 2 decades ago. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Mauro. Congratulations, Ray. Felix De Jesus will translate for us. How would you describe this moment?
este momento, descríbelo para todos.
No tengo palabras. Gracias a Dios, a mi familia por una oportunidad más. Don Nacho, mi papá, mi madre, mi equipo que siempre está ahí. Por México, este cinturón es para allá. Segundo en mi vida, gracias a Dios. El primero lo disfruté, pero este es parte mía.
I have no words to describe what happened here tonight. This is my second title. This one's going back to Mexico. I want to thank my family. I want to thank Nacho and my father, everybody involved in this victory.
What did your dad just say to you? What did his dad say to him?
¿Qué te dijo tu padre ahora mismo?
Pues no puedo hablar, está emocionado, puros gritos. Con este cinto, primero Dios, queremos unificación con Leo Santa Cruz. Esperemos que se pueda hacer. Es una gran pelea.
It was a great fight. My father is full of emotions right now, so he was very emotional when he spoke to me today.
You overcame the knockdown in round 9 as we take a look here at the monitor. Tell us what happened in that moment.
En el noveno te noqueó. ¿Cómo te recuperaste de ese noqueo?
Sí, claro. No fue un golpe efectivo, realmente fue en movimiento. Pero se cuenta porque me tocó de alguna manera con todo el golpe.
It wasn't that effective, but it counts. He did get me there, and that, he got me with that one.
Did you feel as though you were in control of this fight?
¿Tú crees que estaba en control de esta pelea todo el tiempo?
Sí, por supuesto. Yo creo que en el noveno perdí un poquito el control, tal vez por eso entró ese golpe.
Yeah, of course, I've been in control the whole fight. Although in the 9th, because he got me there, that's why I lost a little control.
We see Nacho behind you listening into this. How much has he meant to you?
¿Qué ha significado Nacho para ti?
Es un viejo lobo de mar, siempre se lo he dicho, con todo cariño. Es mexicano, con toda mi gente que está aquí. Gracias a ellos también por apoyarme, a toda mi gente.
He's a wolf, he's Mexican, and thanks for everybody to really come.
Campeón número 29 del mundo.
It's my champion's number 29th world that I've had.
What would you like to do next?
¿Qué tú quieres hacer próximamente?
Brandon Figueroa going to be the guy?
No, yo creo que la siguiente pelea me enfoco con Leo Santa Cruz, ya lo anduvimos platicando y tal vez ya hace esa pelea. Alguna unificación es seguro.
Either unification or I do want Leo Santa Cruz in the next fight.
That's Leo Santa Cruz.
That's been talked about.
Okay. Was the eye ever a concern from the headbutt?
El ojo que te dieron ahí había un consciente como que
You've had cuts before.
Que te han cortado antes.
Sí, claro, fue un cabezazo en una salida, puso en la frente, pero todo controlado en la esquina.
Yeah, it was a headbutt and everything was controlled in the corner.
Ray, congratulations, tremendous performance.
Felicidades, Ray.
Muchas gracias. ¡Viva México! ¡Vámonos para México! ¡Woo!
Thanks, Mexico. We're going to Mexico.
Now with Mark. Mark, how do you feel about the decision?
It's his today. It's game of today. So no matter what, I came back stronger. And yeah, a little bit disappointed but I did my best.
You did do your best. When you had him down in the 9th round, did you think that has changed the complexion of this fight?
Yeah, it's hurt that punch is straight, and he's too much running, and he do his job in the ring running, so that's okay.
Do you feel as though you applied enough pressure in the rest of the 9th round and following in that 10th round?
Yeah, I applied